So good day, everyone. I am Alex Ramos, and together with my project team members, Lanz, Ling, Paolo, Mico, and Michaela, Ragasa, we are pleased to present a research paper regarding the adoption of an agile methodology in a software development capstone project amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. So this paper was produced as a collaboration between my capstone project team members as well as our advisor, Ms. Mary Jane Arcilla.
So for our agenda today, we will be discussing the different sections of our paper, which are the introduction, methodology, result and discussion, and lastly, the conclusion. Now for the introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic disrupted our lives and affected all the different sectors of the world. Everyone was forced to adapt to the new normal while carrying learnings that will outlast the pandemic. Project teams were forced to develop new strategies and adapt to working remotely. Within the IT department of the College of Computer Studies in DLSU, all projects transitioned to adopt various agile methodologies. Now we move on to Agile and Scrum. Here we have the advantages for both Agile and Scrum. For Agile, it is a highly adaptive approach, flexible, and is a lightweight method. While Scrum is one of the most popular frameworks, it emphasizes teamwork, and lastly, it increases stakeholders' engagement. So the purpose of this research is to describe how researchers adopted the Agile Scrum methodology in a software development capstone project and present the benefits to future researchers conducting similar projects.
Next, we will be discussing the methodology of our paper. The capstone project of the research proponents is a performance management system consisting of several modules and features based on the needs of the client company. In the process of working on the capstone project, the researchers applied the Agile Scrum methodology to aid them during the development process. As the pandemic forced the team to work on the capstone project remotely, instant messaging and video call platforms such as Facebook, Messenger, Discord, Zoom, and Microsoft Teams were utilized by the team in order to communicate and coordinate. These platforms are all allowed the team to hold their Scrum meetings, address backlogs, as well as hold meetings with the client to show the system and address their concerns. Online collaboration tools were also used such as Google Docs, Google Sheets, Canva, and Notion, which allowed the team to work together and work on tasks asynchronously despite being on different locations and having different schedules. In Scrum, small development increments are known as sprints, dividing long-term goals into short-term ones, aided in focusing on and managing certain backlogs at a given time, where each sprint lasts for about 6 to 8 weeks. The Scrum team consisted of a product owner, the product key stakeholder, a Scrum master, the leader of the development team, and then the development team. Sprints began with sprint planning, where the researchers communicated with the product owner to be able to lay out the work to be completed. Subsequent sprint planning events involved determining the project backlog items to be performed during each sprint. During this Scrum event, the researchers also identified the responsibilities of each team member and decided on how expected deliverables will be accomplished. Individual responsibilities were interchangeable to allow the team to increase productivity, since there were additional tasks to be performed based on client feedback. A project management tool, Notion, was utilized by the researchers, which enabled the organization to track and manage the project while working remotely. In the duration of each sprint, designing, implementing, and testing were performed. Stand-up meetings, a Scrum event, were also conducted to help the researchers decide the next steps that will be needed in order to make adjustments based on the issues being encountered and consequently complete all the deliverables. A Scrum board within the project management tool was used to monitor the progress, which were updated based on the discussion during stand-ups. The sample Scrum board that was utilized is seen on the screen. For each activity, there was a to-do list containing detailed tasks that were needed to be completed, which helped in increasing progress visibility. Throughout the sprint, the researchers utilized different testing techniques which helped them in ensuring quality deliverables. Weekly remote meetings with the product owner were also held through Zoom in order to demonstrate the progress that had been made, as well as to receive feedback regarding the design and functionality of the deliverables. This made applying feedback more efficient as the feedback is received right away instead of delaying the task until the end of the sprint. It was beneficial for the proponents that meetings were held through video call platforms as they would not need to physically visit the client in the office. It allowed the team and the client to be more flexible with their time of meeting. Using the Agile Scrum methodology allowed the client to really be involved with the project. The methodology allowed the proponents to gather feedback from the users and to address their concerns. It was also easy for the team to communicate with the client when they have questions, as they can reach the client via online messaging applications. These meetings served as the sprint reviews, wherein the proponents were able to closely work with the client, receive input, and request their approval, with their output being qualitative user acceptance testing results.
So next up is the results and discussion section, where we'll talk about how Agile is an upgrade over the traditional software development lifecycle, or SDLC for short. So throughout this section is the presentation of said Agile with 4 benefits compared to SDLC. To give a brief context of how team benefits using Agile over SDLC, through the use of an Agile team can simply plan ahead of time with requests from stakeholders to be able to respond to changes, which makes development processes adaptable. The team can also allot time per module as per request of the company. And last point is that the team has clear communication with the product owner, which can lead to the improvement of quality throughout the product development. So within the software development, Agile can also be utilized to improve the development processes. So to give an overview, we have given at least 4 benefits for Agile in software development, which are as follows. So the first one is the welcoming of changes in requirements. Another benefit is the focusing and managing of tasks in small increments at a time. Another benefit is about an increase in stakeholder engagement during sprints. And lastly, it's about the facilitation of a mindset for collaboration and communication. So the first benefit is about welcoming changes in requirements. Being flexible in terms of being able to meet the ever-changing nature of project requirements is a need for companies these days. Receiving constant customer input is a showcase that the needs of a client can change and that new features can be requested to be added, which can be beneficial to their end. With Agile, the project team and the client could identify issues and feature deficits early in the process. So the next benefit is about focusing and managing tasks in small increments at a time. Long-term projects see a benefit using sprint over traditional means due to being able to reorganize priorities, make necessary adjustments, and deliver results that meet client requirements.
Another advantage in using Agile in software development is the increase in stakeholder engagement, which can lead to greater user satisfaction since they are involved in the development process. So the sequential approach of the traditional SDLC method limits and delays the collection of client feedback collected as testing is performed after the build phase. The increase in stakeholder engagement allows the development team to demonstrate deliverables and collect qualitative feedback, which they can address and incorporate in the system right away. In our case, as being a 4-member team, using an Agile approach allowed responsibilities to become interchangeable between members, wherein there is a mindset of collaboration and communication during the process. So due to the iterative nature of the Agile methodology, the team can determine issues and make necessary changes in order to resolve them. Additionally, team members are also able to work on different tasks simultaneously to complete a product backlog and constantly deliver value to the stakeholders. So to summarize the differences between the Agile and traditional methodologies, the traditional SDLC follows a sequential design process wherein planning, analysis, design, building, testing, deployment, and maintenance are the phases involved, which is not suitable for the development of a performance management system project due to the nature of the requirements. Meanwhile, the Agile method is considered a lightweight and iterative method that enables fast response to changes in client requirements during development. Next, project scheduling for the traditional SDLC is based on predefined phases. As for Agile, it is based on small developmental increments known as sprints. Planning using the traditional SDLC is performed at the pre-development stage, which is why the scope and requirements are fixed and it is challenging to initiate and incorporate changes. While for the Agile methodology, being iterative in nature, planning is incremental in which it reflects change in decisions and requirements over time, making it adaptive to changes. There is a mindset of collaboration and communication while using Agile, wherein team responsibilities are interchangeable between members. On the other hand, team responsibilities are fixed per member in the traditional SDLC. Lastly, there is an increase in stakeholder engagement during the sprints through Agile because of the constant demonstration of deliverables wherein the product is regularly evaluated. As for the traditional SDLC, client feedback is minimal and delayed.
For the conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic introduced various challenges to society with different sectors having to adjust to be able to thrive. The academic communities around the country are also among those that suffered due to the implications of the pandemic. Due to this, the new normal was created, which forced everyone to start working from home. The Agile approach to software development facilitates continuous delivery of results based on customer needs. The Agile approach for necessary adjustments to be made based on changing requirements. The use of collaboration tools allows project teams to work together, concurrently, or separately. This study has presented the adaptation of Agile methodology in the development of a performance management system, a Capstone project, even during the pandemic. Further study must be conducted regarding the adoption of Agile Scrum Methodology in other software development projects, as the existing method used was based on what was applicable to the project being managed by us. So this is all for our presentation, and thank you for listening.